What is going on in this poem? What are some things we can talk about? Yes. Some defeat by what? By romantic ideas or something? Okay. Yeah. Death seems better than life. Okay, yeah.
To me, like in the first part, he's saying like how he didn't really.
It's a sheep, but it's okay.
She's saying like how like she didn't really I guess like she's talking about how she wants to cross the river because she's had enough of the world. So like she wants to die at first, and then she's like, oh, I will rise. So then she like rethinks and thinks that actually there might be a better solution.
Okay, good, yeah.
She references a lot of poets in this.
She does reference a lot of poets. Who does she reference? Yes. Langston Hughes being one of them. I'm so excited that you guys know who this person is. He's one of my favorites. And I have known and taught a lot of juniors who don't understand who he is. Yes. Emily Dickinson. Any others? Yeah. And Maya Angelou. Good. We're going to talk about those in a second. Emily Dickinson. Maya Angelou. Okay. So we reference those things. When we do this, here's our vocabulary word for today that we're going to talk about. When you reference other literary authors, works, historical events, and things like that, we call it an allusion. Not an illusion, allusion. When we allude to something, right, we refer back to it. So you can refer to other songs, you can refer to past literary works, other novels, pieces of art, historical events, experiences, but when you allude back to something like that, we call it allusion. And a lot of your novels and stuff, as you go further into English and the next few years, you're going to find a lot of your books and novels have biblical allusions because they were written by European white men, right, who understood the Bible, and that's what their reference point was. So they used those as a way to help people understand what they were talking about. So when we use allusions, it's a way for us to say something and tell a bigger story without telling the whole thing, right? It helps us understand things. All right. What else is going on in this poem, this rap? Anything else? Other ideas? Yeah.
She's trying to send across like an inspirational message because in the beginning she says like I'm falling, but then throughout the poem she's kind of like reconsidering her idea of like choosing this, and then in the end she says I still rise.
I still rise, right? Yeah. Okay. Other things? Yeah.
So at the middle part of the poem, it talks about how the world wants to blood.
The what?
It's just like how the world thirsting for blood. I mean, it's kind of like
world thirsting for her blood. World wants a cup of her blood. Why is that? What is that really saying?
It's like saying that like everyone's like hurting her.
People are hurting her. Do they really want her, or they just want a piece of her, right? Kind of deal. Okay, good.
She says that she's like tired of the world and stuff, but she also says that like at the end she's like people like the whole world is like kind of like it's like it's like the world is like bad, but she's still kind of like rise because like she's saying that if you like put me in the envelope of lies or whatever, it seems like the world keeps like cheating or whatever, but she's just like she still kind of like be better.
Okay, writing history, sealing it with a lie. But she's going to rise above it. This is an interesting line. Who writes history? Who writes the stories that we tell? Other people? Time? Historians? Experts? The social media? When we look back at history, the way it's been written by people, is that exactly the way it happened, or is it only just someone's point of view and their perspective on how it happened? Is it actually true all the time? Or is there other points of view or other things that happened that are also true, that make things right? So sometimes we write a piece of history and we seal it with a lie and we accept it as truth, but still we're going to rise above that. So we're gonna go beyond that. Yeah.
So like I feel like in the middle of the poem she's talking about how like she couldn't stop her death, so he kindly stopped her for leaving, that she doesn't have the will to die right now. And then at the end she talks in that line where she's talking about writing history feeling as a lie. It's pretty much that if she did die or something did happen, then people are gonna rewrite it in a different way than it actually meant to her, and she doesn't want that to happen, which is the reason that she's trying to rise above it.
Write it for her, right? Yeah. That's a great way of looking at it too. Who do we want to write our stories and our histories? We want other people to write down, and now they still might write a story and seal it and seal it with a lie. It may not be true, but we can rise above it. But if we die or we leave things undone or we don't follow through things, then people are going to write those things for us, right? And it may not be what we want it to be, and our own things. Okay, good. Any other ideas? Yeah.
She doesn't care what everyone else says because she knows in her mind that she's going to be.
She knows who she is and so it is. All right. So a lot of really cool things going on in this poem. A lot of things she's talking about in here, right? So the poems that they're referencing here, they're actually referencing 3 specific poems by these poets. They're not even alluding just to these people, but she's actually quoting right from these poems that they wrote. And so if we look at those poems and these authors and their stories, it can help us understand this poem, this rap, on an even bigger level. So that's the whole idea, is when you get an allusion, go back and look at the original and what it's meaning and what it's saying, so we can get that deeper level they're trying to get at, right? So for Langston Hughes, the poem is called Negro Speaks of Rivers, and we're going to listen to it here in a minute. Emily Dickinson's poem, Because I Could Not Stop for Death. And Maya Angelou's Still I Rise. All right. So we're going to look at those right now. So I'm going to have to switch computers here. Yeah. It's on the other computer. So we're going to